Hey guys, Sequoia here from Phoenix Off-Grid Solutions. Today we're going to take a look at this Northwest Conversions 25-gallon dually wheel well tank. Now, this is my first time buying a Northwest Conversion tank, and it's because they have, or I should say I have, a Sprinter dually project here at my shop, and I'm putting in a custom plumbing system. And this is maybe the only water tank that's designed specifically for dually vans. It fits the Sprinter. It also fits the Transit. It may also fit like a non-dually, obviously, but the reason that it's specific for the dualies, if you're not familiar with this, is that in the rear of a dually van, there's two wheels on each side, and so the wheel well of the dually van is very wide, and you lose a lot of space in between your wheel wells. So when you're building out a van, it's a little unfortunate. But this tank makes it easier to reclaim some of that space. So with this particular tank, I really like this tank. It's high quality, it's food grade, it's 25 gallons, it feels really, really solid. It has spin welds on this end, right? It has this weird like stand, just because of the nature of the design over the dually tank. It has this stand here, which helps, keep the tank balanced and sturdy. It's high quality aluminum, it's thick. It also can end right at the front or the back of the wheel well. So if you're building out your van in a specific way with like a bed platform that ends right at the front of the wheel wells, as a lot of people do, this design will serve you there. But it also gives you a 1.5 NPT up here and a 1/2 inch NPT here, so that this could be your water fill. This could be your vent if you are operating from that end. Or on this end, there's the standard 1/2 inch here, there's a 1/2 inch down here. Like this could be your water pickup for your pump. These 1.5 inch threaded spin welds are like they have a cap in them. You have to drill it out or cut it out when you want to use it. So the one down at the bottom, you just leave alone if you don't want to use it. That could be a really big drain if you wanted it to be. This could be your fill port. These are the caps for the 1/2 inch NPT that they give you. Now, on top of the tank, they also give you a spin weld for a level sensor, a float level sensor, and I'll be using that. And so what I do there is I take I think it's a 1 3/4 inch hole saw, and you can kind of wiggle it in the threads and drill out that little cap there, or plug, whatever you want to call it. And then you can put in your level sensor, right? And so this is a float level sensor. It floats when the water goes up and down. And this is by a company, KUS, and I always use these level sensors when I'm using my tanks, S&B or the Northwest Conversions. And then it just comes with a little 2-wire pigtail, and then you can hook that into, KUS makes little dials, illuminated dials that you can install, or you can hook it up to your Servo GX screen. I actually didn't think about where I'm going to put the dial in this project. Okay, so there was one thing that I wanted to mention in regards to these level sensors, right? So basically the level sensor will be located right about here. And obviously, because of the weird shape of this tank, when this level sensor is halfway, it's not actually halfway. You're not actually half out of water. It's a 25-gallon tank. So, when you're up here, or when your water level is down 50%, I mean, look how much of the water is gone, and look how much is left. There's only maybe like, I don't know, 5 gallons left, and this is the 20-gallon part up here. So that's, something that you would have to calibrate with your specific monitoring system, whether it's like a Cymarine, or if it's your Victron servo system, or if it's just your KUS, float level gauge. You'll also just, if it's in that case where there is no calibration, if it's just a simple gauge or dial, then you just kind of like intuitively have to understand like, well, how much water is left. When it's showing 50%, I really only have like, 10% left, or 20%, whatever that value is. So that's something to keep in mind when you use these level sensors. Any other information you want about the tank, I'll have a link in the description. Also check it out for any discount codes. I'm not sure if I get a discount code on this, but I absolutely will have an affiliate link in the description. We're going to move over to how I install the tank in the van and the complete plumbing system that I'm installing in this dually Sprinter, which is going to look really cool and work really well. All right, here's the final install of this Northwest Conversions dually wheel well tank. You can see I have a full plumbing system to go with it, and I really like how it turned out. Now, this Northwest Conversion tank fit really nicely over the dually wheel well. There's space around the wheel well for me to add insulation. I made sure that the tank wasn't touching the actual wheel well so that there was no thermal bridging. And this build is actually one of my first and last full builds that I did on my own once I came back to Pennsylvania. And so I've been building it out in phases. I did, the paneling and the electrical in one phase, and then I did like a galley and a bed platform in another phase, and now we're doing the plumbing. And so I had to install a few things sort of after the fact, namely the exterior water fill, which I used here this is called an angled deck fill by Sea Dog, and I get this from Fisheries Supply, and this is really nice, and I use these on all of the van builds that I was doing out in Portland when I worked at the van shop. Comes with a little custom key, so not just anybody can open that thing up. Anyway, I'll fiddle with that later. Put a little Sikaflex behind the flange, and I had to fit it right here on the curve, which I don't usually like to do, but again, it was tricky to get that in after the fact. I had to kind of just cut a hole in the wall and see where I was getting it, and it was like almost the exact height of the water fill. Typically with the deck fills, the gravity fills like that, you want them to be higher than the fill of the tank. But I think it's going to be fine. And the nice thing about having the fill on the outside of the van is that if there is any water that spills, it spills outside the van and not inside here with all of this wood floor, nice cedar floor. Cedar is nice. It looks good. It smells good. The client wanted cedar floor too. It's really soft, so it damages easily. Also sands out really easy too. But yeah, in addition to the water fill that we showed there, here's our vent, and I just used some half-inch ID hose that just vents out the bottom. And remember, we kind of installed this tank backwards so that I had room for my hot water heater, which fit perfectly right here. And this is a hot water heater by Isotemp. It has a 120 heating element inside, but it also has the ability to heat via a passive glycol or coolant loop from, in this case, it comes directly from the engine. I have all of my drains coming back here, and I just did all of this in PEX. Sometimes I do it in hose, but it looked nice and clean with the PEX. I have drains for all of my low points. So I have cold water low point, hot water low point over there. Meaning, like, when it's time to winterize, you just have to open the drains. You don't have to use compressed air. You don't have to use any glycol in your system. You just open the drains. This is the drain for the main water tank, and it's it's funny because it's so long, but it goes all the way up to the front, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. You can see I'm using these nice little clips to mount my PEX. They're really cool. I get them on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. A single screw, your PEX clips in. It gives it a nice little air gap, holds it, keeps it from vibrating, makes it look really clean. The hot water heater has an integrated mixer here, and then back here, let's see, right there is a pressure relief valve, but it's also a drain, so you can kind of click it open and drain the whole water tank out when it's time to winterize. I will be boxing this whole plumbing system off with like a box that kind of matches this, and I did this like 2 years ago, so I'm going back and trying to match my build style then. I think it's going to look pretty good. I am going to put a little exterior shower port that fits up here on the wall, and so I have some T's on my PEX lines right there that'll come up and over to the exterior shower. Water pump, strainer, accumulator, all mounted right up there, and that's a 12-volt water pump. Let's go up front and take a look at that end of the tank. All right, so here we are down here, the water tank, the front end. Now, this galley is like something I did an earlier phase, and we have a nice new countertop up here now that is going to be retrofitted on a galley at a different time because we're going to put in a 12-volt fridge right here. Right now, we just have a dorm-style 120-volt fridge. And so I didn't want to build all this without knowing exactly what fridge we were going to use here. But in any case, I wanted my plumbing system to be like as far back as possible. So I opted to use like a PEX B90 to half-inch NPT right out of the tank, nice and tight, and then run back along the wheel well. But again, not touching the wheel well because I don't want any thermal bridging happening there. Our ports there and there are still sealed. There I used a plug. Up top there I cut that open for the level sensor. I don't have the gauge for that actually right now. They were kind of on back order, so we'll have to add that at a different time. But yeah, that's the install. A really nice tank, an option for you if you have a dually wheel well. You can see how deep that wheel well actually is. This will work on the Transit or the Sprinter. I'll have a code for the tank in my description. Way to go, Go Code and Northwest Conversions. Love their products. I'll use more in the future.